What's good? This your man Hurykane telling you what to do. Man, I'm supposed to be asleep right now. Real talk. I gotta get up in a minute. But I don't know, man. I guess I'm not tired. But shouts out to everybody coming through. Shouts out to everybody that's about to catch the playback. Shouts out to everybody waking up. Grand Rising. But real shit, I want to say shout out to the enemies public. Make sure y'all subscribe to the enemies public. He gave me an idea to make a couple videos, you know, and I wanted to talk about this Panama Canal. And I was like, hmm, maybe I should do a crash course in history because I love history so much. I love war. So it's like, you know what? I'm gonna just do a crash course in history, just talking about different wars from different time frames, but also talk about the corrupt governments or corrupt empires within these situations. So we got a lot to deal when it comes to the US. So we're going to talk about the Panama Canal. We're going to talk about Contra. We're going to talk about what happened in Iraq. We're going to talk about what happened in WW2. We're going back to the Revolutionary War, Civil War. We're going to break down the war and the corruption. If I'm a content creator, it's time to get to create. Now, this is another segment or another playlist that I gotta make. Hurricanes Hood History.com crash course. But yeah, but real talk. Shouts out to the enemies public for giving me an idea to start these type of videos. So after Panama, we might talk about the Contra incident. Might go back to the Gulf War. Might go back to the Vietnam War also, because the Vietnam War was pretty crazy too. There's something happening here. Man, nigga, every time you say the word Vietnam, nigga, like that song come on. It was crazy. All I gotta say is, hold on, just drop some money. All I gotta say is sneak preview. Weather warfare, what? Yeah, nigga, Vietnam was crazy, my nigga. But it all leads back to the same point. The only people that suffer is the people. It's like the fucking people of that town or the people of that land. While the government is doing their thing, taking over, destroying your destroying your economy, your people, and ecosystem. But this ain't the Fuck the Government podcast. That'll be on the next channel or until I get these strikes off me. Because I gotta tread lightly because the government love to lie and said that was misinformation, medical misinformation. How is it medical misinformation if the medical people came out and said it didn't work? But anyway, I digress, right? I fucking digress. And then y'all give me a strike over a post. So this is how you know it's all bullshit. Susan don't run YouTube no more. It is Neil Mohan. Neil Mohan. He's not even American. Anyway, we're going to take a crash course through history, dealing with our corrupt American government or the United States Corporation. And it's going to be brief. I can't be too long because I got to make other videos. Because I got another video after this. And shouts out to the enemies public again for his live that he did discussing these migrants. Yeah, I'm about to go in when I talk about them. That's gonna be after this video. But I will put it all together in one little swoop, but I won't break it up. So because the shit I'm gonna say on that one, I might have to be on my Hurykane JW2 channel because that's gonna be the Fuck the Government podcast. Real shit. Because I gotta get it off my chest. Now, let's get it started. Let's get it started. Panama Canal.
The Panama Canal Company bankruptcy in 1889 was the largest financial scandal of the 19th century and caused the financial ruin of thousands of investors. The bankruptcy led to losses of 1.8 billion gold francs, or more than 11 billion US in today's dollar.
Yeah, we lost 11 billion.
Some 800,000 French citizens saw their entire investment wiped out. Ferdinand de Lesseps
800,000 French. That's a lot. We got to go back.
The Panama Canal Company bankruptcy in 1889 was the largest financial scandal of the 19th century and caused the financial ruin of thousands of investors. The bankruptcy led to losses of 1.8 billion gold francs, or more than 11 billion US in today's dollars. Some 800,000 French citizens saw their entire investment wiped out. Ferdinand de Lesseps had been the French developer.
The man's name is Ferdinand de Lesseps. Ferdinand de Lesseps.
Was designing and overseeing the construction of the Suez Canal.
He had the Suez Canal. I think Suez Canal is over there in Egypt, if I'm not mistaken. But he was like, I want something bigger. Pause.
Be the developer in charge of this canal as well. The fact that de Lesseps knew very little about finance or economics didn't seem to matter, and the French got on board with his idea to replicate the success of the Suez with a lockless canal.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all catch that? Let's hear that again.
In charge of this canal as well. The fact that de Lesseps knew very little about finance or economics.
He knew little about finance or economics, which means he was just some white Frenchman going around flaunting money, throwing out money like, I'm Daddy fucking Warbucks, bitch. On some Daddy Warbucks shit. I'm Daddy fucking Warbucks.
Didn't seem to matter, and the French got on board with his idea to replicate the success of the Suez with a lockless canal in Panama. De Lesseps.
So he didn't know much about the economics and the financial situation, right? I heard that, right? But it still said people followed his idea. Have you heard the term blind leading the blind? Have you ever heard that before? I don't think you have. Well, this is firsthand what it is. Some rich nigga that everybody's following.
And his sons established the Panama Canal Company. They raised capital, mainly from individual investors, based on exaggerated prospects from the press, parliamentarians, government ministers, and banks. De Lesseps handled the vitally important work of promoting and raising. They raised capital, mainly from individual.
That was very important too to hear. A lot of people was involved in this shit. Government, bankers, politicians, individual private investors. A lot of people. And you know who really took the L was the people of that country that invested in this bullshit.
Investors based on exaggerated prospects from the press, parliament.
Exaggerated prospects from the press. Have you heard the Smith Month Act where they can just push a whole lot of propaganda, over exaggerate shit, or even lie to you in the media and in the newspaper?
Government ministers, and banks.
The government ministers and bankers.
De Lesseps handled the vitally important work of promoting and raising money for the project from private subscriptions himself. His boundless confidence and enthusiasm for the project, as well as a dogged faith in the miracle of technology, attracted many stockholders.
Yeah, he was a happy-go-lucky guy. Happy, very enthusiastic. Talking about, man, I love how technology came so far. Look how we started this third republic.
French citizens eagerly invested because public loans to it were backed by the French government. It was a safe investment. In fact, investing in the project was regarded as a sort of patriotic public service. Work on the canal.
Now they added a patriotic public service to it. So if you discredit it, you will probably be labeled a traitor and arrested. Probably. Oh, you don't want to do this canal? You're not a patriot. Ain't that a bitch? I got a feeling that y'all gonna take my money. Let me get the hell out this country before this shit collapse. But no, 800,000 citizens fell victim.
Got underway in early 1881, but de Lesseps was not adequately prepared for the harsh conditions in Panama. By 1889, they'd moved 50 million cubic meters of earth at the cost of the lives of 20,000 men, yet only 11 miles of the 45 by the French government. It was a safe investment. In fact, investing in the project was regarded as a sort of patriotic public service. Work on the canal got underway in early 1881, but de Lesseps
Early 1881.
was not adequately prepared for the harsh conditions in Panama. By 1889,
He was not prepared for the harsh conditions of the shit because he was already old as fuck and he wasn't traveling there to check on the shit. He just going all around flaunting out money, talking shit. Yeah, come invest in this shit. Paying off motherfuckers to, like push agendas to get this shit going. And he lost 20,000 people. Now, one shit I read, it was 22,000. 22,000, And what really makes me mad, I saw something on the Panama Canal. It was a great documentary. The two things I'm about to show you right now is really not going to do it justice, but it's enough to put everything in context of what's going on. But the documentary I saw on the Panama Canal 4 years ago, man, goddamn, that shit was amazing. Like I feel like it's been scrubbed off the internet, or maybe I gotta dig deep, pause to find it. But it was a great documentary discussing the Panama Canal. They had footage and everything. They got footage on this, but the footage I saw on that was gruesome.
1889, they'd moved 50 million cubic meters of earth at the cost of the lives of 20,000 men, yet only 11 miles of the 45-mile canal were dug. Nearly $300 million had been spent, and suddenly there was no more money.
Nearly $300 million was spent on doing this. I read another article or watched another video. It was 287 million. Now that is close to 300. So like what this guy did in this video was he just rounded out to the nearest 10. So he just rounded out to 300, but it was really 287 million.
Shareholders voted to dissolve the company, placing it under legal receivership. The canal remained unfinished, and the project was deemed a total failure. $100 million had been spent, and suddenly there was no more money. Shareholders voted to dissolve the company, placing it under legal receivership. The canal remained unfinished, and the project was deemed a total failure. The canal company stock became almost worthless overnight, and people were furious. The French government conducted an inquiry on behalf of investors. The scandal implicated numerous individuals and institutions, including de Lesseps, who was accused of fraud.
Yep, they accused him of fraud. A whole bunch of other people was involved.
De Lesseps was unable to oversee much of the work in person because of his age, and so the project had fallen into the hands of swindlers.
Left into the hands of swindlers. Not only you was happy-go-lucky nigga flaunting out money, you ain't even know your circle to keep your name perfect. You ain't have no loyal people that you can trust. They saw the money. But what makes me mad is this. Everybody eats, B. Y'all wasn't eating. Y'all have to swindle the people. Real shit. Y'all gotta be getting paid to do this canal. Y'all wasn't slaves. But who knows, right? Who knows? But work is slavery. I don't give a shit. 22,000 people died. 22,000. Some people say 20, some people say 22. But no one stopped after the 100th guy or the second guy. Like, what the fuck? This is how you know the nigga wasn't overseeing the shit. Nigga probably didn't. Dylan Sell probably did no 22,000 people died until the shit got aired on the news.
Project had fallen into the hands of swindlers. The political class was also heavily implicated. Following the chain of bribes slush
The
fund.
political class, followed by a chain of bribes, sounds like our politicians over here in America. Yeah, they was involved.
And influence peddling proved that numerous legislators were involved in the scandal as well. The public was furious that the very reason for their confidence in this investment, the government backing up the loans, was instead a key factor in the scandal itself.
Yeah, the government backing up the loans was a key factor. Hashtag fuck the government. This should have been a fuck the government podcast too. But I'm treading lightly. No, I'm sprinting on that thin line. Nigga, I'm doing the Sonic run with the arms out. A little bit faster than the speed of sound. Set me free. Follow me. I'll make it through, prove it to you. Follow me. What you know about that Sonic Adventure 2? Dreamcast, motherfucker. The Sega Dreamcast. Nigga, Sega Dreamcast was going for a dunk. PS2 was like, get that shit out of here. PS2 came out of nowhere, like, get that shit out of here, nigga. This is a DVD player now, nigga. Video game, Ayo CDs, Ayo DVD, bitch. And we came out with like 10,000 fucking games. Like, god damn. I'm talking about as soon as PS2 came out, I swear it was like 10,000 games that came with it. I mean, they came out, but like a lot of demos came with the PS2 and the motherfucking actual game. I think Devil May Cry and some demos. And if you didn't get the Devil May Cry game, you got some other game like a racing game. I think Ridge Racer 5. And then you got a demo with Devil May Cry on it. I'm like, man, I'm about to buy this shit. The Devil May Cry is shit, nigga. And Devil May Cry is one of the greatest franchises in video game history. Part 1 was awesome. Part 2, not so much. Even though the shit had a 2 disc, I liked it. Like, cause I liked the outfit. And part 3, best game in the motherfucking series. Part 4, upgraded the graphics with the 360 and shit. We on the next gen console. The shit looked awesome, but it should have had more. But when you get the part 5 for the PS4, nigga, and the Xbox One, nigga, nigga. Yeah, this shit turned into a video game. I gotta talk about Devil May Cry on the motherfucking the HHN because a lot of shit happened with that company also. I mean, like not with the company, but the director of the game, Devil May Cry. So I got to talk about that on another segment. I might do that on the HHN or maybe the celebrity reviews, but I'm gonna do it on HHN and have it like the rapid fire news, and talk about Fat Man Scoop, talk about the Devil May Cry director, talk about Jennifer Granholm, her shit, and something about Biden and Benny Siegel, with the cooking shit. I gotta talk about that and Kamala Harris. But anyway, back to the Panama.
The government backing of the loans was instead a key factor in the scandal itself. Newspapers, deputies, and senators accepted bribes and duped the little guy, making the
the motherfuckers accepted bribes and duped the little guy. Who wrote this for him? I know he ain't write this himself.
Panama scandal one of the most notorious financial events of the era. Several parties allegedly
It said one of the notorious financial bullshits of the era. Like, damn. What topped the Panama Canal? Oh yeah, this scandemic where the pharmaceutical industry took everything.
Bribes from key company finance.
But before that, it was the recession with the bullshit housing scandal and shit, and the bailout of the bankers and shit. Yeah. Oh yeah, can't forget about that.
Here's Baron de Reynac and Cornelius Hertz. Some of the culprits ended up imprisoned and fined, but de Reynac
said some of the culprits. So probably the little fish got locked up.
Died before he could even be sentenced. Ferdinand and Charles from key company financiers Baron de Reynac and Cornelius Hertz. Some of the culprits ended up imprisoned and fined, but de Reynac died before he could even be sentenced. Ferdinand and Charles de Lesseps, along with Gustave Eiffel, were sentenced to prison terms they never served.
Sentenced to prison terms that they never served. What type of shit is that? You were sentenced but never served. That's like saying that we're about to give Joe Biden life in prison, but he never served.
Hertz fled to England. In the
Hertz fled to England. Didn't y'all come to this territory to get away from there? He said, fuck that. I'd rather go through the tyranny in my own country than go through what the fuck shit I'm about to go through here. With Panama. I'm not about to get caught by Panama. I'm not about to deal with the United States. I'm going back home. But like that ain't where he's from. I don't care where the nigga from. That nigga fled to England.
Despite the inquiries, the people who bore the brunt of the burden were the
I hate this fucking chair. This chair is all squeaky and making all these goddamn sounds and shit every time I fucking move.
Thousands of French investors left out in the cold. And Hertz fled to England. In the end, despite the inquiries, the people who bore the brunt of the burden were the thousands of French investors left out in the cold.
Yep. Yep. You know what that means? You know what that means?
Oh, I see it again. You've been had.
I gotta get a better clip of that, Michael Bex. You've been had. You've been took, hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok. Fuck the government. Now that y'all heard the scandal, we need to go to another one where I think it talked about Bush or some shit. Where the fuck is it? Right here. The invasion.
What's your guilty pleasure? Checking my reflection in squeaky clean surface.
Target was the U.S. invasion of Panama. December 20th, 1989 to January 31st, 1990. The United States invasion of Panama in late 1989 was an intervention carried out with the aim to maintain Washington's dominance in Latin America. among other countries in the region.
To maintain the dominance in Latin America.
Panama was of particular importance to the United States, primarily because of the Panama Canal, which connects the Atlantic to the Pacific Ocean.
Now, y'all need to look at that map to see what it's talking about.
And its significance for both American military and economic interests. American was of particular importance to the United States, primarily because of the Panama Canal, which connects the Atlantic to the Pacific Ocean, and its significance for both American military and economic interests. American engagement with the Panama Canal started in 1902 when they assumed construction duties from the French. In 1903, Washington incited the Panamanian independence movement that ultimately resulted with the nation's autonomy from Colombia. It secured the Americans a deal that granted them exclusive and permanent possession of the Panama Canal Zone for substantial financial compensation. Ever since the canal was opened in 1914, it has been a key point of relations between the two nations. And after World War II ended, the question of control over the canal became a matter of dispute. Inspired by the Egyptians who nationalized the Suez Canal in 1956, Panamanians sought the same right in 1964. Following a riot in which American soldiers killed several Panamanians, the two nations briefly broke off diplomatic relations. The dispute was
Yeah, the Americans blasted some Panamanians. Yeah, America struck first.
ultimately resolved in 1977 by signing the Torrijos-Carter treaties. They reached an agreement that
resolved it in the 70s while everybody was having disco fever, sniffing coke.
Panama would take full control over the canal by December 31st, 1999, but under conditions that it remain open for U.S. vessels. By signing the Torrijos-Carter treaties, Washington didn't give up its interest in Panama. An ace up their sleeve was Lieutenant Colonel Manuel Noriega, Chief of Military Intelligence.
The Pablo, real Noriega. The real Noriega, he owe me 100 favors. This Noriega.
Noriega was a long-serving CIA paid informant and an
Noriega was a CIA paid informant. Rick Ross was a correctional officer. It all makes sense now. The real Noriega, he gonna be 100 favors.
instrument for disrupting Soviet interests in the region. As the de facto ruler of Panama, he also Colonel Manuel Noriega, Chief of Military Intelligence. Noriega was a long-serving CIA paid informant and an instrument for disrupting Soviet interests in the region.
And the instrument for disrupting Soviet shit in the region. So he was fucking with the Russians on the behalf of the CIA because, you know, during the 80s, it was always Russia bad. Let's make movies about Russia being the bad guys. Those are done, yeah. Y'all dig about Ruski, you better brush up on your Russian. But most importantly, brush up on your Spanish because these motherfucking immigrants is moving in your territory.
As the de facto ruler of Panama, he also helped Washington keep the country under control.
Yeah, he also helped keep the country under control. Yeah. The real Noriega, he owed me 100 favors.
However, during the 1980s, Noriega became a liability with his growing connection to the drug cartels. The call to step down from
connection to the fucking drug cartels. What was Rick Ross talking about all through his songs? Every day I'm hustling. Like I said, the real Noriega, he will be 100 favors. But he got to get that shit from the CIA or the cartel to get that shit on the Port of Miami. It all makes sense now. Man, I wish I had the original documentary that I saw 4 years ago, man. Real shit. It is hard to fucking find.
Power turned Noriega away from the USA and towards the Soviets. However, during the 1980s, Noriega became a liability with his growing connection to the drug cartels.
Yeah, he became a liability for those drug cartels. Nah, was you messing with one or two? Probably one. But he was probably just going ham, going crazy, doing dumb shit. The real Noriega, he owe me 100 favors. Like real shit. This motherfucker was out here clouding, and it was like, y'all remember the story of Pablo Escobar? Nigga, I gotta talk about that story. Nigga, talk about Hurricane hood history, man. Pablo Escobar got dead greasy, bro. That nigga got dead fucking greasy, bro. When the United States worked with the Mexicans government, nigga, to take down one man and then take his picture and post it up and display it in the office like, yeah, nigga, look what we did to a nigga at his own house on his rooftop. Like, nigga, that is fucked up. They got dog. That is fucked up. Y'all can probably go online and find the picture of like where they, like did a snapshot of him on the roof. But after all I've been through and after all the research I've been through, been deep diving in, I don't believe that happened anymore. It was like, why would y'all display that? I didn't question it then, but like after going through a whole bunch of shit now, it's like, yeah, now I question. Why would y'all film that footage of the raid of Pablo Escobar? Y'all could have just, you know, did y'all could have just, you know, did what y'all did without news coverage, you know. But Pablo Escobar was dog. This motherfucker was trying to get in politics. And it was like, nigga, are you crazy? You're supplying motherfuckers with guns and drugs. Yeah, but I'm supplying your government. I built prisons for y'all. I'm building a prison y'all gonna put me in. Like, and my fucking people. Like, you mother dog, man. It's like when I go back to that story, dog, like, like with a fresh pair of eyes that I have now, it's gonna be crazy. Right now, I'm going back to the Panama Canal with the eyes that I have now. Because like last time I seen the documentary of it, it was 4 years ago, and I can't find that motherfucker on YouTube. It's all these short fucking videos. So I think they screwed it because it was a bad motherfucker. Like, they exposed the government, they exposed a lot of people. It said some names, and I'm talking about some names being spilled, But this is the war side of the game.
However, during the 1980s, Noriega became a liability with his growing connection to the drug cartels. The call to step down from power turned Noriega away from the USA and towards the Soviets.
Like, you telling me to step down? Okay, bitch. I'm about to fuck with the niggas that y'all call the enemy. I'm about to fuck with the Soviets.
It was the beginning of his downfall. Washington incited an unsuccessful coup against Noriega in 1988.
In 88. I was born in 88. I'm in the motherfucking diaper still. You know what I'm saying? I'm running around with the bottle. No, I ain't running. I'm crawling. So while I'm crawling in the playpen playing with toys and shit, our government is staging coups against other motherfucking people in other countries. Our government ain't shit, bro. Just thinking about all the bullshit that this government has done. Our government ain't shit, bro. Bullies of the world. Our food here is banned in over 30 plus countries. Yeah, our food is banned. The shit that we eat every fucking day is banned in 30 plus countries, my nigga. That lets you know, like I said, they're killing us through the food, through the water, through the air, through the disease. You don't believe me? GMOs in the food, fluoride in the water, chemtrails dropping from the sky with a whole bunch of shit in it. And the CDC, the Center for Disease Prevention, is making this shit to motherfucking destroy us. So I don't want to turn it into a fuck the government podcast, but goddamn, they're gonna be talking about the fucking Panama Canal, and yeah, fair use for educational purposes only.
Washington incited an unsuccessful coup against Noriega in 1988 and indicted him for several drug-related crimes. The U.S. refrained from military action, though, primarily because President Reagan didn't want to impede George H.W. Bush's presidential campaign.
Yeah. This time, you know, George H.W. Bush, which is the daddy of George W. Bush, I wish that nigga would have hit that nigga with that shoe, bro. George Bush got reflexes. He almost got hit with a wingtip, nigga. But George H.W. Bush, before he was running for president, guess what he was doing? Rather y'all know it or not, guess what George Bush daddy was doing before he became president, talking about we're going to establish a new world order, not the order of the jungle. You know what I'm saying? And it'll be successful, and it will be, yeah, because we haven't united yet to take these motherfuckers out. The new world order has already fucking been started. Only reason why? Because we have not fought back. Viva la revolution. The only solution is revolution. Destroy your government now. Anyway.
To impede George H.W. Bush's presidential campaign. Bush Sr. was head of the CIA during a period when the agency was fully cooperating with Noriega and was aware of his ties to the drug cartels.
Yeah. What I just say? George Bush CIA was aware of Noriega and his ties with the cartels. With an S. Cartels. The Dragon Cartel. The White Flower Cartel. And a whole bunch of other motherfuckers. I don't know. I'm just making up shit. I don't know if there's something as the Dragon Cartel or the White Flower Cartel. I'm not sure. You know, there's some shit I saw in my head I'm gonna put in the comic book. But anyway. But anyway, George Bush knew. He knew. Because he's fucking with him. George Bush, Reagan, these motherfuckers brought the crack in the community, man. So understand, while this shit was going on, motherfuckers on the pipe. Pause, no digging. Black communities being destroyed, not even paying attention to what the government is doing to this fucking country of Panama. Staging coups. These motherfuckers, fucking with the cartels. They the ones that brought the dope over here. This Panama Canal shit is deeper than what you think. This is why I say I wish I had that other fucking documentary. Real talk, man. But since I said it, y'all understand what's really going on with this government. This government is corrupt as shit.
Drug cartels. Once George H.W. Bush was elected president, these political concerns were no longer relevant. The opportunity arrived in May 1989 when Noriega annulled the victory of the opposition at national elections. The United States put pressure on Noriega to recognize the results of the election, which he persistently refused. Instead, he broke off all ties and declared a state of war between Panama and the United States on December 15, 1989.
December 15th, 1989. I'm 1 year old. I'll be 2 years old the next month, January 17th. But anyway, I'm 1 year old. Noriega just declared fucking war against the United States. Man, I wish I was motherfucking old enough at that time to watch the news and find out what's going on, but I probably would be dealing with family members on crack, angry and sad and depressed, trying to get motherfuckers off of it. I probably would have turned to one of them pro-black guys that wear the black shirt that say "dare" on it. Drug awareness. Just say no to drugs. But nope, I was that nigga that wanted to be like Omar without the fruitcake side of him. Just wanted to take out all dealers. I just said bump it. That's what I wanted to do. Real shit. Real fucking shit. That's what I wanted to do. Way before I even seen the show The Wire, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take you dealers out. But what made me change my mind? I met some dealers that gave back to the fucking community. That changed my mind. I met some hustlers, some good brothers that did their thing, but they gave back to the community. Everything we did for the community was out of our pocket. And I'm so proud of that, to be a part of that. But that's a whole nother story for my documentary. But yeah.
Broke off all ties and declared a state of war between Panama and the United States on December 15th, 1989. The following day, troops of the Panamanian Defense Forces, also called the PDF, stopped a group of 4 American soldiers.
Yeah. The next fucking day, the American soldiers that was there was like, get the fuck up out of here, man. There was like, report live for Black TV. White folks are there, get the fuck up out of here. Come on, Jack, let's go, motherfucker. Awful scary movie shit. But they got stopped.
Private vehicle and started harassing them. The incident ended with a Marine First Lieutenant being shot and killed. Another American Navy.
Okay, Limu, you said it. Then as I spike it, I'll tell
Fucking
him to customize his car insurance.
Fucking
So
ass.
they'll pay for what they need.
They don't have car insurance in
American
Detroit. We don't have car insurance or licenses, nigga. We drive up side streets to avoid the police to get to work, allegedly.
The officer who witnessed the incident was assaulted and his wife threatened. It was a turning
Yeah, they shot a motherfucking lieutenant and held another nigga at gunpoint and threatened the nigga wife. Shit went crazy.
point for President Bush, who ordered the execution of Operation Just Cause.
Operation Just Cause. You about to hear something. What these motherfuckers bought to these niggas. Nigga, they bought the fire to these niggas.
Invasion of Panama. The Panamanian Defense Forces were hardly an equal adversary, with around 16,000 men under arms, organized in 2 infantry battalions, 5 infantry companies, 1 cavalry troop, and 2 public order companies.
See, and Panama's problem was they trying to hold down the fort where they at instead of just went straight guerrilla. I would have went straight guerrilla attacks against the United States because they can't handle that. You inside of a building, oh yeah, they can definitely handle that. They can put together some schematics and have your ass infiltrated within 2 minutes. But when you take that shit to the mountains, you take that shit to the forest, where motherfuckers gotta fight the elements and fight the fucking terrain, you Americans can't handle that. I'll make a name for myself. Yo, you better make sure to tell everybody what you saw today.
The PDF Air Force was comprised of only 500 men and equipped with non-combat aircraft only. The Navy also
with non-combat aircraft only. What they're doing flying a plane for if you don't got a bomb on it? Nigga, you just asking to get knocked out the goddamn sky. Nigga, real shit. I bet Noriega was like, yo, get everybody. Yep. The nigga bought out everybody. And the government calculated their numbers, saw their ass from a fucking satellite and said, okay, we got them.
Had only 400 men and a handful of small vessels. With only 28 armored cars, the PDF infantry was not capable of putting up much resistance against the U.S. invasion. However, what American generals feared was that the PDF might withdraw to the mountains and engage in guerrilla warfare. In such a case, PDF fighters would pose an enormous threat to establishing security in the country. For that reason, the United States Southern Command engaged over 27,000 soldiers for the mission.
27,000. They said, fuck that. We're not risking it. But still, though, he said the America feared what I just said. Nigga, guerrilla warfare, guerrilla tactics, nigga. It'll be harder to take that fucking country. And then the Americans will be like, George Bush, you ain't shit. Fuck your new world order talk. We got motherfuckers dying over there in Panama. What you gonna do about that? Did we have a Gulf War after this shit? Too,
Almost half of this number, around 13,000 soldiers, were already stationed at U.S. military bases in Panama.
13,000 was already there. They just told those niggas to go out and do y'all thing. We're gonna send y'all another. We're gonna send y'all another 10,000 in a couple of days. They was like bedded up. How many already over there? Nigga, they only got 16,000. We got 13. We can still handle it. We got better firepower. Y'all good. We good.
These were soldiers of the 193rd Infantry Brigade, plus a battalion each from the 7th Light Infantry and the 5th Mechanized Infantry Divisions. Additionally,
God damn.
there are also smaller units from the Marines, Air Force, and Navy. Apart from the troops stationed in Panama, most of the D-Day fighting was carried out by the strike force comprising soldiers from the 82nd Airborne Division, the 75th Infantry Regiment, the Army Rangers, Army Special Forces, SEALs, Air Force Special Operations, and Navy Special Boat Units.
Man, they brought the fucking SEALs and a whole bunch of other motherfuckers to take Panama.
A total of 7,000 soldiers. The rest of the troops were planned to land in Panama after the main PDF forces were defeated in order to pacify the country. General Carl Steiner, operational commander of the forces engaged in Operation Just Cause, set the H-hour at 0100 hours on December 20th, 1989. All units were divided into several task forces with specific targets and assignments. These were task forces Red, Atlantic, Pacific, Bayonet, Semper Fi, and Joint Special Ops. Because of the unusual PDF activity on the night of the attack, Steiner moved H-hour forward to 0045 hours, not wanting to completely lose the element of surprise.
Did we just have a fucking ad? Did we just have a fucking ad?
Task Force Bayonet, the troop stationed in Panama, was the first to attack. Their task was probably the most difficult. They were ordered to seize Fort Amador and La Comandancia, the headquarters of the PDF. They moved out at 0045 hours from their starting positions and deployed in 3 task forces, Gator, Red Devil, and Wildcat. Task Force Gator, assigned with seizing La Comandancia, isolated the headquarters at 0330. They suffered significant casualties while breaking through the streets of Panama, taking fire from small PDF detachments. Once at the target location, Task Force Gator threw everything they had at the PDF forces inside La Comandancia. The complex was destroyed by fire from Sheridan tanks, LAV-25 infantry assault vehicles, assault helicopters, AC-130 gunships, and AH-64 Apache helicopters firing Hellfire missiles. The PDF forces inside, reinforced with public order companies, continued to resist the Americans until late afternoon. They even hit an AH-6 Little Bird helicopter and forced it to make an emergency landing where it exploded after its 2-man crew had managed to escape from it. At 1600 hours, American soldiers breached the wall and stormed into the complex. 2 hours later, La Comandancia was taken and the PDF Central Command was eliminated. At 0045, Task Force Red Devil moved towards Fort Amador, blocking the exit of the troops inside who tried to escape. 15 minutes later, The rest of the task force assaulted the base. PDF forces inside rejected calls for surrender and continued to fight until 1645. At 0100 hours, 1,300 Rangers of Task Force Red parachuted in over Rio Alto Military Base, home to 720 men of the 6th and 7th Rifle Company, two of Noriega's most loyal units. The assault was preceded by the attack of two F-117 Nighthawk stealth bombers that each dropped one 2,000-pound bomb with the aim to stun the soldiers at the base. It was the first ever combat mission for the Nighthawks. The bombing had no significant effect, except that it alerted the PDF soldiers of the incoming invasion. They met the U.S. Rangers, who had parachuted in from a height of only 500 feet with concentrated gunfire. Despite animating resistance, the 2nd and 3rd Battalion of the 75th Rangers handled the garrison relatively easily and took control of the entire base and the airfield in less than an hour. Task Force Red Tango, 1st Battalion of the 75th Rangers, reinforced with C Company of the 3rd Battalion, parachuted into Tacomonterijos Airport on the eastern outskirts of Panama City. These units were tasked with prepping the field for the 82nd Airborne Division. With the support of the AH-6 assault helicopters and AC-130 gunships, the Rangers easily overpowered the PDF 2nd Airborne Company. Seizing the main terminal was a somewhat more arduous task, since Noriega's men took 347 Brazilian passengers as hostages. 2.5 hours later, the hostages were released and the airport was put under the control of the American forces at the cost of 4 killed Rangers. Even though the airstrip was secured, the 2nd Battalion of the 504th Parachute Infantry Regiment jumped over the Tacomonterijos Airport at 0210, followed by the rest of the Task Force Pacific units. Along with them, 8 M551 Sheridan tanks were dropped. From the airport, soldiers from the 82nd Airborne conducted air assaults on nearby PDF positions at Tinajadas, Panama La Viejo, and Port Cimarron. After some harsh fighting, and with the help of AC-130 gunships, the 82nd knocked out most of the PDF's 1st Infantry Company, 12th Cavalry Squadron, Special Security Anti-Terrorist Unit, and an elite Battalion 2000, most of their armored vehicles. At 0100, Task Force Atlantic, comprising 1 battalion of the 7th Infantry Division and 3rd Battalion of the 504th Parachute Infantry Regiment, who were part of the 82nd Airborne Division, both stationed in Panama, started their attack. Their first target was Fort Espinar and the 8th Rifle Company. PDF fighters at the base showed heavy resistance and succumbed only after the barracks were completely destroyed by artillery fire. Much stiffer resistance was faced at the Coco Salo Naval Base, right next to the small U.S. settlement. Soldiers of the PDF's 1st Naval Infantry Company fought for 4 hours before they surrendered. Task Force Atlantic was also engaged in seizing prison compounds at Renacer and Gamboa, releasing several prisoners charged with organizing the coup against Noriega and 1 CIA agent. During the first day of the invasion, Special Ops Unit,
The CIA agent and some motherfuckers with the coup, like, yo, they get these prisoners out of here.
a Marine Rifle Company, and a Light Armored Vehicle Company acted as support for the conventional forces. They were mainly engaged in establishing roadblocks, thus preventing PDF units from reinforcing each other. In the later stages of the operation, they were deployed to outlying provinces with the task of neutralizing local PDF garrisons. Of particular importance was the mission of Task Force White, comprising 3 platoons of the Navy SEAL Team 4. The force stormed the coast of Panama at H hour in their Zodiac boats. Their target was Punta Patia Airport, where Noriega's personal Learjet was parked. Before they attacked the hangar with Noriega's plane, SEALs blocked the runway by pushing light planes onto it. SEALs ultimately destroyed Noriega's jet with an AT-4 rocket, but suffered 4 killed and 8 wounded, more than they had anticipated.
Yeah.
D-Day was appraised as very successful. Major PDF units were
protecting the
defeated, and
plane.
soldiers that weren't killed or wounded in action either surrendered or dispersed. On the evening of December 20th, a composite brigade of the 7th Infantry Division and the 16th Military Police Brigade arrived in Panama to establish order. For the next 4 days, they fought the remains of PDF forces that were still resistant. After the capital was secured, forces engaged in stabilization operations turned their attention to other provinces and local PDF garrisons.
What could a second Trump administration look like?
Project 2025.
Oh my
Project
God.
2025
What would Kamala
is
look like? bending over
turn
in
their
front of
attention to other provinces and
what a fucking bending over for the military industrial complex because she ain't gonna stand up to it. She ain't gonna stand up to it. She gonna bend over just like she did for Willie Brown and Montel Williams and a whole bunch of other politicians that we don't know nothing about.
the remains of PDF forces that were still resistant. After the capital was secured, forces engaged in stabilization operations turned their attention to other provinces and local PDF garrisons. However, the primary objective of the operation, the capture of Manuel Noriega, had still not been accomplished. Until December 24th, U.S. troops searched locations designated as Noriega's hideouts when they learned that he was still in Panama City. Aware that all his escape routes were cut off, Noriega approached Monsignor Laboa at the Apostolic Nunciature under the control of the Vatican. He sought refuge in the Embassy of the Holy See as an alternative to fleeing to the mountains, where he could engage in a guerrilla warfare campaign against the Americans. Not wanting to push the country into an exhausting war, Laboa allowed him to hide in the Nunciature on December 24th. It took less than half an hour for the Americans to learn about Noriega's presence in the Nunciature. They immediately sent Task Force Green and military police personnel to block the
Somebody was snitching. Nobody was supposed to know that. Y'all try to get a powerful figure named Noriega. The real Noriega, he owe me 100 favors. This motherfucker, 100 favors. It's supposed to be everybody eats, B. But nah, he wasn't feeding nobody. He was supposed to get the fuck up out of there. Yo, bitch ass want to stay in Panama. But nope, I gotta admire this. When the captain goes down with the ship. You declared the war, nigga. Stay to the end, and he did. But he ran like a bitch. But you're still on your continent, though. So, like, you ain't flee the continent, but you still ran like a bitch. I don't get it. Do that count?
complex with an order to search every vehicle coming in and out of the Nunciature. Washington started negotiations with the Vatican to release Noriega from the Nunciature.
This is like, yo, the government called the Vatican. They're like, oh, great holy Vatican's the great holy father. Can you help me get this bitch ass Noriega? My son, you have not walked into my confessional. You have not bought me 2 little boys for sacrifice. I'll think about it. Say 10 Hail Marys and a hallelujah and call me in the morning.
The newly installed Panamanian government and a conference of Panamanian bishops also appealed to Pope John Paul II to release Noriega.
Oh yeah, I forgot. This was during the time of Jean Paul II. Damn. He fucks with our government. Shit. He always visiting our motherfucking country. With a motherfucking bulletproof Pope mobile. At least that nigga is smart. He got a see-through bulletproof glass Pope mobile. But we can't have no rapper doing those.
Pressure on the Vatican worked. On January 3rd, 1990, Monsignor Laboa informed American troops that Noriega was leaving the Nunciature.
Boo. Boo. Vatican, you some bitches. You some bitches. I gotta ask the Vatican a question. How much did the U.S. government, let's just say, how much was their donation? How much was their contribution to the fucking Vatican for this shit? That's a question that need to be answered. It feels good to come back to the Panama Canal story. I wish I had my other video, but yeah, I might do a part 2, like if I find the other video. But yeah.
Noriega agreed to surrender on condition that he could wear his uniform and leave Panama in secret. At 2053, he was handcuffed by U.S. troops and taken.
Nigga, what? What? Haul me out in secret. I don't want my country to know that they took me away. Like, nigga, you fuck with the CIA. You fuck with cartels. Nigga, what the fuck are you ashamed of? Oh, yeah, that. The real Noriega, he owe me 100 favors. Oh, that's why you don't want nobody to see your face. Because the nigga favors you all, he gonna see you like, this nigga ain't gonna give me my 100 favors. Fuck that motherfucker.
Into Howard Air Force Base, where he was arrested by DEA agents. On board the sea,
The fuck is the DEA doing that? Oh yeah, Drug Enforcement Agency, because you fuck with the cartel. But he's also a CIA paid informant. That's what people not understanding. Did people forget about that part? I'm not about to go back and rewind the video, but did y'all forget about that part?
1:30. Noriega left Panama and was taken into custody at Homestead Air Force Base in Florida. Within days of the invasion, Noriega's rule of Panama was over. The new government took over, with Guillermo Endara, winner of the 1989 elections, sworn in as president on the night before the invasion. It took 3 weeks for American troops to completely pacify the country and establish.
It took 3 weeks. It took 3 weeks to take Panama with 27,000 troops compared to their 16,500 planes with no guns, 28 armored vehicles, which is not enough for shit, and you didn't have no other shit. You know, it was, one thing about America, all the countries that they did take was all small, and most of them couldn't even defend themselves. This country ain't shit.
Order. On January 31st, 1990, Operation Just Cause officially ended. The U.S. lost 23 men with 325 wounded.
Only lost 23 men, 325 wounded.
PDF, on the other side, had more significant casualties: 205 killed, 1,908 captured. Even though the Americans achieved complete success with the operation, it was met with condemnation by many countries. The Organization of American...
Yeah, it was met with condemnation. Nigga, it's a small fucking spot. They had nothing to motherfucking, like to really fight back America. And Noriega's really goddamn stupid for trying to declare war on a nigga that dropped a bomb on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. You got balls, to motherfucking be like, fuck the government, man, you're gonna have to bomb me. But no, the shit goes down. You stand for a couple days and then you just start running and fleeing. It's like a pressure, just like the heat is on. The heat is on. And the nigga ran to the Vatican. It was like, oh yeah, the government gonna fuck with the Vatican. The Vatican runs shit. The government called the Vatican, said how much? Vatican was like, you will give 2 billion to the Lord. By the Lord, I'm meaning me. For I am the Pope, and the Pope is really a front for the Emperor of Rome. I'm the Pope, bitch. I'm the Emperor of Rome. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, that's how the real game go. The Roman Empire replaced the crown with a Pope hat. Spoiler alert.
The Organization of American States passed a resolution deploring U.S. aggression in the independent state of Panama. The General Assembly of the United Nations also condemned the invasion as a violation of international law. Particularly controversial was the force that the U.S. used in pulling down.
Yeah, violation of international law. Y'all need to look that up. I need to look that up. A violation of international law. I played the video in the beginning on how they got Panama. Shit. It's all about corruption and death. It's all about corruption, death, bribery, you know, propaganda being pushed. Mind you, ain't no black people thinking about this because niggas on crack. Think about that. This is during that time. Now, this is 1990 when they take it. So I think the Chronic come out in '01. I mean, damn, 91, I think. But as soon as 90 get in, nigga, I'm talking about we got like the last conscious public enemy shit. I think it was 89 or 90. Like 89 or 90 where like Public Enemy dropped their last conscious album before everybody started listening to gangster shit. You know, they was listening to gangster shit, but they were still listening to Public Enemy also. It was still that energy field of conscious rap and gangster rap. It was like a yin yang. It was forming. It was forming until it just got completely overshadowed by gangster rap. And if you wanted to listen to some conscious shit, or you wanted to see your favorite artist that got overshadowed, you would have to look look through the archives and follow that motherfucker's catalog, follow the music. You know what I'm saying? Like this was before the internet. This was before cell phones. In the 90s, I think we was rocking pagers or some shit. I'm not sure if the pagers came out yet, but like I know we was rocking some form of little communication, but it wasn't no cell phone until like later on we had the big ass cell phone. You gotta pull out the antenna and shit. What up, dude? Hey yo, I don't know what's up with my band lab. I didn't receive the beat, but I left my email in the comment, so you probably send the beat. I do something to it, send it back to you, and like do whatever you do. Because I didn't know if you wanted me to do a verse. Hell yeah, we have landlines and pagers. But like I didn't know if you wanted me to do a verse or a whole song to it. So so I was like, all right, I don't really know how this band that shit work, but I did get no notification, or like whatever the invite is. I gotta, this cell phone ain't shit. Sometimes it take a long time to load up. It might pop up later, but it didn't pop up all day. Okay, you just want a verse. All right, bet it up, bet it up. All right, yeah. Oh yeah, just send it to my email. The email is in the comment. And I dropped the verse on BandLab, send it back to you, like through your email, and then you will download it and like go to your BandLab and put the extra verse in. Then boom. That's how I did that Live It Up track, like with Jordan Ankrum Universe, that Live It Up song. He sent me the beat with the hook already on it because he already did it. And I was like, all right, I'll just go in, lay down the two verses and the bridge, let the beat ride, and let them ride out. You would have to go back to the comment. When you said that you sent me the beat, you got to go back to that comment that you did, and then under the reply, it'll be my email under it. But to say it is JESSIE, but it got to be a lowercase j, lowercase JESSIE, WASHING at no JESSIEWASHING 321 at gmail.com. Like, or just go to the comment and just look at the reply. But yeah, this Panama shit. You got it, bet it up. Cool. Yep. Okay, what else? Oh yeah, I think that was the end of it. I'm not sure.
Particularly controversial was the force that the U.S. used in pulling down Noriega's regime. It had caused between 300 and 500 and displaced another 20 million.
Whoa, now we get to the casualties. Motherfuckers ain't care who was getting popped. See, like this is what happens in war. The people get hurt. The people get hurt, the country get hurt, and it's up to the people to rebuild.
Thousands of refugees. After
Thousands of refugees.
the invasion, Panama's relations with the United States continued to implement the Torrijos-Carter treaties. The canal was ultimately ceded to Panama, but the country remained firmly within the boundaries of America's sphere of influence.
Yep. It's still controlled by Panama, but the sphere of influence, the Americans, because they beat that ass. But like it wasn't fair. It wasn't fair at all. It wasn't fair. Just like all the countries that this country has invaded. I think over 200 plus or 250 plus. All those countries that this motherfucking U.S. corporation invaded, man, or most of them couldn't defend themselves. And that shit crazy. So I kind of understand why motherfuckers want to defect to Russia or China, because those motherfuckers got firepower and the U.S. wouldn't dare step to them. Edward Snowden told the American people that I always feel like somebody watching me, and you went to motherfucking Russia. The government labeled him a traitor for telling their people that the government is watching you through your technology on some enemy of the state shit starring Will Smith. People don't understand. That's one of Will Smith's realest movies. Will Smith played in some good movies, but the enemy of the state is the realest because it lets you know that the government is watching. They even had the bugs in his clothes. They put that shit in his home. Like, god damn. Gene Hackman was in it also. The only thing I don't like about the movie, real shit, the only thing I don't like about Enemy of the State is the end. The end of it. Oh yeah, I'm talking about that right after this video. I'm about to go do another live. I'm doing another live, but it's gonna be on the shit. I should do it on this channel, man, but I can't. I'm about to rant though. I'm about to go ham. I don't know, but I know I'm going live again. I'm going live again to talk about this because I was supposed to talk about it yesterday. But I was on the Enemy's Public channel and he was talking about it. Then Dane Calloway went live. He was talking about it. And another cat I'm subscribed to, what's his name? I think his name, oh shit. I forgot. I know like Jimmy Dore was covering a little bit of it, but everybody was talking about it. So, so I was like, you know what? Let me kick back and listen to their perspectives. I'll go live tomorrow. Yep, you heard about the game. Yep. And plus, I talked about it briefly, on a couple of lives, but I never talked about it for a whole live before. And like it wasn't going to be a long live. It was just going to be like a message, public service announcement type of shit. So I should do it over here on this channel. But it's risking it. It's risking it because like they might get me for incitement. Yep. And that's why I need to be on the other channel because that's what I got to talk about. That's what I'm going to talk about. So yeah, I'm gonna do it on the Hurykane JW2 channel. So like after this, I'm gonna go live on the Hurykane JW2 and do the Fuck the Government podcast, and we'll meet up again over there. But to wrap this video up, because I'm at 1 hour and 14, Our government is corrupt in every way, shape, or form. The Panama Canal story, we got the story about Contra, we got the Vietnam story, the story about Pablo Escobar, you know what I'm saying? Our government involvement in these situations is all bad, and they are part of the problem. So, this is a new motherfucking segment. I think it's part of the government's plans for yeah, definitely, definitely. Cause I'm about to talk about that too. Yep. So this is the Panama Canal story. Fair use, fair use. Yeah, the Panama Canal story on the new segment Hurykane Hood History. Yo, this is a new segment called Hurricane's Hood History. I'm gonna be talking about some history in this bitch. You already know what it is. Hurricane Hood History, the Triple H. Like I got the HHN. Now it's the HHH. But real shit. Shout out to everybody for coming through. I'm about to go live again. So just, like give me a couple minutes. I'm gonna be on Hurykane JW2 though. So just subscribe to that channel and get ready to hear me rant. Shout out to everybody coming through. And shout out to everybody that's gonna catch this on the playback. Message of the day. Fuck the government. And the stream.